Hey folks, I'm doing a video here on bearings. Now, these are bearings that I removed from my 2006 Range Rover 4.4 HSE Jaguar motor as I'm rebuilding it. And so I removed the two idler pulleys as well as the two tensioner pulleys, and I removed the bearings. And what I wanted to do is put together a video so you can see what's inside the bearings. And the reason why I'm doing this is I couldn't get a definitive answer online. Um, if the cheaper bearings that like this that you can find on Amazon, essentially for $1 a piece, are as good as the $20 bearings that you can find on Amazon as well. So what I did was open them up, and I wanted to point out some of the failures in the existing bearings. Now these bearings were on this vehicle since 2006, so that's quite a long time. I'm going to start off with the bearing here. Now this bearing is a NTN bearing, and it is 6203 LAX30. And in order to pop these tops off, all it is a dust cap. And all you have to do is get either a little pick, or you can use like something from a sewing needle set, which actually I found this to work better than the pick. And you're essentially just prying it a little bit, and the top will pop right off. So let's start off with the first bearing. This came off the idler pulley. The main reason for failure in this is it's clear of the inside. The grease, there must have been some water intrusion, but the grease is essentially gone, and it's just like a black tar left over. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing the ball bearing slapping against the cage inside of there. So this bearing is bad. It has forward play, and it's a little bit wobbly when I do that. Let's move down to the next bearing, which is just from an idler pulley. This is actually an idler pulley that I replaced, and it came with a generic bearing with no insignia on it. And so I opened this up, and you can see there's just not enough grease inside of these. This one is making the noise of the ball bearings, a little bit of a scratching noise, but there's no forward play. So it's still a good bearing if you repack it. It's not super loose in there, but it's enough right now to where the grease just didn't do its job. And we'll move on to another bearing. This is a original bearing with the vehicle, J3ZFE. And the grease stayed in it, so the dust cap did its job. However, one of the bearings went bad, and there's a real deep scratch. Really, really bad scratchy sound in there. I'm not sure what that is. It could be the cage cracked, and one of the bearings is rolling against a crack in the cage. But it still has its grease. It's just the bearings are a little bit loose. So this one will definitely have to get replaced. Now, one of the things online, when I asked a question on Amazon, can I use this $1 bearing that's generic? Will it hold up to the temperatures? So your average, the hottest engine's going to get is around 225, at the most 250. And these are rated for 400 degrees. And it looks like there's a blue grease inside of it, which is probably a high temp grease. They didn't put as much as I would like to see in there, because you can still see some of the balls exposed, ball bearings exposed. But overall, it's smooth. This is brand new, no noise, no forward play. And I'm actually quite impressed with it. You can hear just a little bit of the cage when you're moving it, but that's not anything to worry about. Now the reason why I did this is because people were saying I wouldn't trust using one of these in vehicles because all it has is a rubber dust cap. Well, it does have a rubber dust cap, but all of them have a rubber dust cap. And I thought that the dust cap on this cheaper $1 bearing compared to the $20 bearings would be different, but they're actually almost identical. So if you look at this dust cap here, on the original bearing, it has a rubber coating on the outside and a rubber seal on the inside and the outside to seal it against any outside elements and keep the grease inside. I was surprised to see this is also metal. The $1 bearing is a metal ring. It does have a good seal inside, the inside and the outside is rubber. So I'm actually going to put this on my Range Rover, and I think it's going to be just fine. So I just wanted to make this video for those of you that want to save some money on bearings, especially if you're replacing all your pulleys. And these are actually, I believe, less than $1 because I was able to get a whole entire box of these bearings for less than $10, so a dozen bearings. So it's actually less than $1 for a bearing. Or if you want the insurance of getting a company that's been around for a long time, probably may behoove you to just buy a name brand bearing, which I understand, especially if it's a lot of work to get the pulleys back off. But I'll do a little experiment and keep you guys posted in the next couple of years how these last. Thank you.